2016 was a crazy year that will go down in history as the complete vibe shift of politics forever. I started writing a Substack piece about this. It should probably be out by the time this video is out. Beyond the amazing music that came out in 2016, the singular moment of Trump getting elected is still rippling through our culture. In some ways, we've learned so much, and both political sides have learned so much from that moment. But in other ways, I feel like everyone's still catching up. I think both sides right now have an insane double standard. And I know I'm going to put Asman and Hasan on the thumbnail here, and I'm going to illustrate a little bit what I mean by how they talk about their politics. I don't condone shooting children, but I think we need to have an actual conversation about why views on politics and immigration makes Asman say that. I'm willing to look past an edgy statement, right? In the fall this year, it's going to be 10 years since Trump got elected. Trump is the FDR of Gen Alpha because there's the first-time voters next election in 2028. Those first-time voters, they're going to have grown up in a world where their entire political existence and the entire political landscape throughout their whole lives, the only political landscape they've known will have been one whose gravity point is Trump. Asmongold says this edgy stuff that even if the migrants bring children, just shoot them and go ahead. Now, again, I don't condone children being killed by authorities, but I feel like the right, when it comes to immigration, the left just can't provide and I'm saying this from the middle. And if you're a leftist and you think I'm super crazy for this, like, let's just have a conversation about the policy here, because I can accept the left side's view on immigration too, and the view that we should minimize externalities as much as possible when it comes to immigration policy, meaning nobody should ever become wronged by the system in the context of illegal immigration. Now, we live in a world where if you go to Singapore and you bring drugs across the border, you get killed. Some of these Asian countries, if you bring drugs across the border, you are instantly killed. That's hardcore immigration policy, right? The truth is the right wing want to adopt a harder policy when it comes to law and order, and the left just doesn't provide a pragmatic solution for immigration at the moment that resonates with people who want stronger law and order. And that this is politics, right? People have different opinions on things. When Asmongold says this thing, everyone, including Hasan, him and so many left commentators, don't look past the statement of why Asman is saying what he's saying. And you can think that having a harsh immigration policy is bad, but criticize that and just look past the statement. It's crazy to me how still in 2026, we see people like Clavicular and we see people like Fuentes gain so much notoriety and become famous and get careers from saying edgy stuff. Like Fuentes is trying to backpedal now because he became famous, like denying the Holocaust. Now he realizes like he wants a more serious political career. And if you say things like that, you're not going to be taken seriously. But he got enough attention. And we do live in an attention economy, right? And Hasan, in the same breath, while judging Asman super hard for the edgy statement and not looking past the edgy statement, he criticizes the right. So Hasan criticizes the right for not listening to his arguments. It's a big double standard. In my opinion, I can look past Hasan saying that America deserved 9/11, and I can look past Hasan wearing a Mao Zedong costume because I know it's to provoke. And then I can listen to his actual views, listen to his long-form content, and try to get an idea of what he thinks and to what degree I agree. And this is what it comes back to when it comes to Trump. The funny thing is the left has caught up now because Trump was the first person to do this, to become huge based on getting everyone's attention because what he said was outrageous. Mix that with a good sense of showmanship, a good speaking sense too, whether you like it or not. He does those rallies, like he developed a core audience and a loyal following that rode with him through everything. And he managed to remanufacture an underdog narrative before the 2024 election, which was also insanely crazy and from a marketing point of view, impressive as hell. Trump divided people a lot because of how edgy he was. And I feel like two sides really grew from this. You had the right-wing side that thought, okay, he said these horrible things about women, or he said these horrible things about Mexicans or about Hispanics, but we understand that just because he says something stupid doesn't mean he automatically becomes a bad president. He can do a good thing, but say something horrible. And what matters is what he does. Voters are able to compromise. I even think that the reason why he gained such a strong loyal following among his loyal followers, so many minorities resonated with him, or so many members of minorities resonated with him, is because there's more of a no bullshit mentality potentially in those minorities. I can't prove that, but that's the feeling and that's what I surmise. But then the other side thought that this is not the norm we want to create with our politicians. And that's fine. I understand that. But now we live in this attention economy where what you say doesn't matter if you say the right thing. What matters is you saying something that gets a lot of attention while also saying the right thing and spreading your message. And there's still this liberal core of people who feel like, or probably amongst moderate Democrats primarily, who still feel like an edgy statement is something we can't stand behind and everything has to be squeaky clean. But that's not the world we're entering. We're entering a world where what you say online doesn't really matter. What you say online is like what you said when you were a kid on the playground. Everyone forgets about it. What matters is your actual arguments and what you do, which again, you can still criticize what Trump does in 2026 and whether it's good or bad. And I think this is a better world. I think this is the end game here. The end game should be that you shouldn't be judged by your worst, edgiest statements. We should be allowed to change our positions. We should be allowed to say something stupid and apologize. But I just wish that the people who have gained followers because of that strategy, like Asmongold and like Hassan, was able to look past some of their opposition's edgy statements and not fall into that same trap of just judging people by what they say and the worst thing they said. I'll leave the video at that. Go check out the Substack. Thanks for listening. And yeah,